Commander Zarthax of the Draconian Imperium stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, his reptilian eyes gleaming with predatory satisfaction. Behind him, 300 warships hung in perfect formation, their hulls bristling with plasma cannons and antimatter torpedoes. They had conquered 17 star systems in the past decade. Earth would be the 18th. Preliminary scans complete, Commander, his tactical officer hissed. The planet shows signs of industrial development, but their technology is laughably primitive. No energy shields detected, no plasma weapons. They still burn fossil fuels for propulsion. Zarthax's forked tongue flickered in amusement. And their military capabilities? Kinetic projectile weapons, sir. Chemical explosives. Their most advanced vessels barely reach their own moon. The officer's scales rippled with what passed for draconian laughter. They haven't even achieved fusion power. This will be over in hours. The commander nodded, his clawed hand gripping the command throne. According to Imperium doctrine, primitive worlds received one chance at peaceful subjugation. It was a formality, really. None ever accepted. Open a channel to their planetary governments, Zarthax commanded. Within moments, the translation matrix connected him to the hastily assembled representatives of Earth's nations. The primitive mammals looked appropriately terrified, staring at his 7-foot frame through their crude video displays. People of Earth, Zarthax began, his voice carrying the weight of inevitable conquest. I am Commander Zarthax of the Draconian Imperium. Your world has been selected for incorporation into our domain. You have one planetary rotation to surrender unconditionally. Refuse, and we will demonstrate why resistance is futile. We have destroyed civilizations far more advanced than yours. A female human, identifying herself as the Secretary General of something called the United Nations, responded with admirable composure despite her obvious fear. Commander, we request time to discuss your offer. Surely there can be negotiations. There are no negotiations, Zarthax interrupted. Submit or be conquered. You have 24 hours. He severed the connection, confident in the outcome. They always chose futile resistance first. It made the victory more satisfying. 23 hours later, the response came. Commander Zarthax, the same human female said, her voice steady. Humanity respectfully declines your offer. Zarthax felt a surge of satisfaction. Then you have chosen extinction. Prepare your... However, she continued, and something in her tone made him pause. We thought you should know something about Earth before you proceed. You've made an understandable mistake. We forgive you for it, his eyes narrowed. Mistake? You assume primitive technology means a primitive species, she said softly. Let me tell you about humanity, Commander. We split the atom before we left our own atmosphere. We've been killing each other with ever more creative methods for 10,000 years. We've survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and our own tendency toward self-destruction. And every single time we've come back stronger. Zarthax's amusement grew. Impressive history. Irrelevant outcome. The bridge lights flickered, then died. Emergency systems activated, bathing everything in red. Commander, his tactical officer shrieked. We're being jammed. All communications, all targeting systems, everything's offline. Impossible. Their technology can't. An explosion rocked the Eternal Dominion. Then another. And another. Report, Zarthax roared. They're launching projectiles from the planet's surface. Hundreds of them. Simple chemical rockets with kinetic warheads, but they're everywhere. Our targeting computers can't lock on because of the jamming, and manual targeting is... The officer's voice rose to a panicked hiss. Sir, they're using our own sensor reflections against us. Every time we try to paint them with targeting lasers, they're launching countermeasures that blind our systems. More impacts. The Eternal Dominion shuddered. And Commander, they're satellites. The primitive satellites we ignored, they're moving. They're ramming our ships. Dozens of them converted into kinetic missiles. Zarthax pulled up the tactical display, now running on auxiliary power. What he saw made his blood run cold. The humans had launched thousands of missiles, each following erratic, unpredictable flight paths. Without functioning targeting computers, his fleet was trying to swat flies with hammers. Worse, the humans had somehow hacked into their sensor networks, feeding false information, creating phantom targets, multiplying their apparent numbers. Primitive projectile weapons, he whispered, understanding dawning too late. The humans didn't need advanced technology. They had something far more dangerous. Centuries of experience in asymmetric warfare. Another communication forced its way through the jamming, audio only this time. A different voice, male with a strange accent. "Commander, this is Colonel Harrison, United States Space Command. Just wanted you to know, we've been planning for this scenario since 1945. Every war game, every simulation, every science fiction story. We've thought about alien invasion more than you've thought about your own breakfast. Your shields? We studied the energy signatures from your initial scans and found the frequencies. Your computer systems? We cracked your basic programming language in 6 hours. Turns out binary logic is pretty universal. Your tactics? Predictable. You rely too much on technology. We learned to fight without it centuries ago." The ship rocked again. Zarthax could see on the auxiliary displays that 8 of his warships were already gone, destroyed by primitive rockets and weaponized satellites. "And Commander?" The human continued. "Those fossil fuel rockets you mocked? They're cheap. Really cheap. We can make thousands of them for what one of your plasma cannons costs. We don't need sophisticated weapons. We just need enough of them. Retreat." Zarthax finally screamed. "All ships retreat to jump distance." But the humans had planned for that too. More impacts, these targeting the ship's sublight engines. The fleet's perfect formation dissolved into chaos as vessels tried to scatter, colliding with each other. Their navigational systems compromised by the relentless jamming. The human voice came through one final time. "You're leaving orbit now, Commander, and you're going to take a message back to your Imperium. Earth is primitive. Earth is backward. Earth still uses chemical rockets and nuclear weapons. But Earth has been practicing warfare since before your species discovered fire. We've been killing each other so efficiently that when someone else tries, we actually know what we're doing. Tell your Imperium, humanity doesn't need your technology. We've gotten very, very good at making do with what we have." As the Eternal Dominion limped away from Earth's gravity well, down to half power and leaking atmosphere, Zarthax watched 47 more of his ships succumb to the primitive planet's defenses. The humans hadn't used a single advanced weapon, just kinetic projectiles, creative thinking, and the accumulated military wisdom of a species that had been perfecting the art of war for millennia. The Draconian fleet jumped to hyperspace the moment they reached minimum safe distance, leaving behind 73 destroyed warships and the shattered myth of primitive Earth. Commander Zarthax would report the truth. They hadn't encountered a primitive species. They'd encountered something far more terrifying. A young race that had already mastered the one technology that mattered most: survival.